My name is Emily Carter, and until last summer, I thought I understood my family, my life, and my place in the world. I grew up in a small town in Oregon, where everyone knew each other's names, favorite coffee orders, and, unfortunately, each other's business. My grandpa, Henry Carter, was the rock of our family. At 82 years old, he was still sharp, with a mind like a steel trap and a quiet way of observing the world that made you feel safe just by being near him. When I was little, Grandpa used to take me fishing by the lake behind his farmhouse. He'd sit there, legs crossed, holding his old fishing rod, and tell me stories, some funny, some a little sad, all full of lessons I didn't understand until I was older. But what he whispered to me that summer afternoon would shake my understanding of everything I thought I knew about him, my parents, and even myself. It started with a phone call from my mom. Her voice was tight, trembling slightly. "Emily," she said, "Grandpa's not feeling well. I think you should come." I dropped everything at my apartment in Portland, threw some clothes into a bag, and made the 2-hour drive to the family farmhouse. The air was heavy that day, not just with the thick summer heat, but with something unspoken. When I arrived, Grandpa was in his armchair by the window, looking out at the fields. His eyes lit up when he saw me, but I could tell he was weaker than the last time I'd visited. I knelt beside him, took his hand, and we just sat there for a while, letting the silence fill the space. After a few minutes, he cleared his throat and leaned toward me. "Emily," he whispered, "I have something to tell you. Something I should have said a long time ago." My heart started pounding. His voice was low, almost conspiratorial, and the weight in his tone made my stomach twist. "What is it, Grandpa?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He took a slow breath. "Your grandmother, she wasn't the only woman I ever loved. And your father, he isn't my biological son." It felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me. I blinked, trying to process his words. "What do you mean?" I finally managed. His eyes softened, but there was a deep sadness there too. "When I was a young man, before I married your grandmother, I fell in love with someone else. Her name was Margaret. She was married unhappily. We didn't mean for it to happen, but we found comfort in each other. Your dad, he's her son. I raised him as my own, and your grandmother knew, but we never told anyone. We thought it was best." I sat back, my mind spinning. My father, the man I had grown up believing was Grandpa's biological child, was the result of an affair. My whole life, Grandpa had been the perfect image of loyalty, the man who fixed broken fences and read bedtime stories to his kids. And yet here was this truth, buried for decades. Tears filled my eyes. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. Grandpa's voice trembled. "Because I'm old, Emily. I don't have much time left, and I don't want to leave without you knowing the truth. Our family story isn't perfect, but love isn't always perfect. I want you to understand that people make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes shape us in ways we can't see at the time." We sat there in silence for a long time. I thought about my dad, who had no idea about this truth. I thought about my grandmother, who had lived her life knowing, but choosing to keep the family together. And I thought about Grandpa, the man who had made a choice that changed everything, but who had still been the best father and grandfather he could be. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat outside on the porch, watching the stars, replaying his words over and over. My world felt different now, like someone had tilted the map I'd been using my whole life. But strangely, I didn't feel angry. I felt humbled. I realized that family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who stay, the ones who love you through every storm. The next morning, I asked Grandpa what he wanted me to do with his secret. He smiled faintly. "Do what you think is right. I trust you." In the weeks that followed, I visited often. I recorded his stories, not just about the affair, but about his childhood, his travels, his life lessons. I realized that knowing the truth didn't erase the love I had for him. If anything, it made it deeper, more human. Grandpa passed away that autumn. At his funeral, I looked at my father and wondered if I should tell him. In the end, I decided to wait. Some truths are heavy, and timing matters. For now, I carry it in my heart, not as a burden, but as a reminder. Even the people we love most have chapters in their lives we may never fully understand. And maybe that's okay. Because in that quiet moment, when my grandpa whispered his truth, he didn't just tell me about the past, he taught me about forgiveness, compassion, and the complicated beauty of being human. And that, more than anything, changed my life forever.